In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 WNBA games happening on May 21st, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 WNBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Dallas Wings versus Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx are set to play their home opener at Target Center, where they'll host the Dallas Wings in a matchup that already feels lopsided on paper. In the first game, Minnesota ran circles around the Wings, winning by 15 points and scoring pretty much whenever they wanted. That Dallas defense still looks like a work in progress, and even if Kayla McBride sits this one out, the Lynx are simply too deep to be rattled. Nappy Collier presents a matchup nightmare for Dallas, and the Lynx defense brings the kind of length and intensity that makes it hard for opponents to even get good looks, let alone convert. We're talking about last year's best defense going up against the team that ranked dead last. That's not a small gap, it's a canyon. Minnesota opened the season with 2 dominant road wins, both by double digits. Coming home for their first game in front of their crowd, expect them to come out with purpose and energy and put Dallas away early. The Lynx didn't just look good last season, they looked complete. They owned the paint and knew how to finish possessions, which is going to be key here. Dallas has struggled to generate second chance points, and that likely won't change in this one. The Wings also had a tough time protecting the ball last year, and Minnesota's scrappy perimeter defenders will be ready to take full advantage of that. It's not just about talent here, it's about discipline, and the Lynx have more of it. Now, to be fair, there are a couple things to at least consider. The Lynx haven't been the most reliable when it comes to covering big spreads. They're just 4-11 against the spread in their last 15 games as double-digit favorites. And yes, McBride being out again is a real loss, even if they've looked fine without her so far. But let's be honest, the Wings have dropped 2 ugly home games where defense was practically optional. If they're getting torched on their own court, what's going to change now that they're facing a tougher team on the road? The Lynx have looked like one of the sharpest offensive teams through 2 games, and they're finally playing in front of a packed home crowd after finishing as runners-up last season. This is set up to be a statement win. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Lynx to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. One thing the Lynx did really well last season was run the floor. They thrived in transition, and that's not good news for a Dallas team that still struggles to take care of the ball. That should lead to a handful of easy fast break buckets for Minnesota. Both teams were strong on the offensive glass last year, and that should keep the scoring opportunities coming. Minnesota also got to the free throw line consistently and wasn't shy about letting it fly from 3. Dallas is going to have to match that offensive tempo if they want to hang around. All signs point to a high-scoring game. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Mystics versus Golden State Valkyries. The Washington Mystics are heading into a non-conference showdown against the Golden State Valkyries, and this one's shaping up to be more interesting than people expected. Before the season tipped off, not much was expected from Washington, but just 2 games in, they flipped that narrative and claimed the top spot in the East. They've done it with an up-tempo, balanced style that's tough to defend, and with a mix of veterans like Sykes and Stephanie Dawson guiding a starting 5 that includes 2 rookies. The Mystics have already shown they can put points on the board, scoring at least 90 in both of their wins. That kind of offensive output could overwhelm a Valkyries team that's still figuring out how to function together. Golden State, as a brand new expansion team, hasn't found its footing yet. They looked out of sync in their opener, a 17-point loss to Los Angeles, where they collapsed in the 4th quarter and managed just 7 points. They don't yet have that one player they can turn to when things get tough, and it shows. Until they figure out who that is, or someone steps up, it's hard to trust them against more organized teams like Washington. Even though I usually prefer the Mystics as underdogs, their hot start is hard to ignore. They're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games going back to last season. and their early season momentum feels real. The Valkyries, meanwhile, are starting from scratch, and everyone on the roster is either young or hasn't been in a lead role before. They're clearly still searching for identity and cohesion. For the Mystics, games like this are the kind you have to win if you want to be taken seriously as a playoff team. Dropping one here would set them back. As our first pick for this matchup, the Washington Mystics to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both of Washington's first 2 games of the season went well over this total, with final combined scores of 184 and 175. That's a clear sign that their offense is firing early, playing with pace and rhythm under new leadership. Brittany Sykes has been a catalyst, and the team shot over 50% from the floor in a recent win over Connecticut. Golden State, meanwhile, gave up 84 points to the Sparks in their debut and had trouble stopping scoring runs. Offensively, they put up just 67 points in that game, shooting only 36.5% from the field and basically disappearing in the fourth quarter with just 7 points. Those kinds of numbers scream growing pains, but they also hint at potential improvement in their second game at home. Looking at offensive rebounding, both teams are middle of the pack so far. Washington ranks 6th with a 28.4% offensive rebounding rate, while Golden State is right behind them in 7th at 27.5%. These aren't elite numbers, but they do reflect a level of hustle and pace that fuels more possessions and, in turn, more points. Washington's pace rating is 96.3, tied with Minnesota for 8th, while Golden State plays even faster at 99, tied with Dallas for 3rd. That kind of tempo usually leads to more scoring opportunities, and with both teams pushing the ball, it sets up nicely for a high-scoring game. Expect Golden State to look more comfortable this time out, and for the scoring to reflect that. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Sparks versus Phoenix Mercury. The Los Angeles Sparks and Phoenix Mercury square off Wednesday in what should be an interesting WNBA matchup taking place at PHX Arena. This one's not easy to break down, since both squads are dealing with notable absences. The Sparks are missing Jackson, and the Mercury are without Kali Copper, who's out for at least a month. Phoenix looked sharp in their season opener, and they've got home court, which is probably why the odds makers are leaning their way. That said, I'm still not totally sold on them, at least not enough to back them as favorites without one of their top offensive threats. Meanwhile, the Sparks have been scrappy on the defensive end, and that could be just enough for them to hang around and keep this close. Even without Copper on the court, this feels like it'll be a close contest. While the Mercury have some upside, losing their go-to scorer is a big deal and could throw off their rhythm for a few weeks. The Sparks, for their part, showed some solid stretches in their recent outings. I'm not holding their loss to the Lynx against them too heavily. They've already picked up a win on the road this season, and the way they hung in against Minnesota shows they've got some fight. All things considered, I think the line is giving up a bit too much here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Sparks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Looking at the total, the trends from last season point to a lower scoring affair. These teams met 4 times last year, and 3 of those games ended up going under, with an average of just 163.5 total points. Phoenix came into this year with a gutted roster. 4 of their top 5 scorers from last season are gone, and even now, they're missing their number 1 scorer from last year, so there's still a lot of firepower missing. Sure, they put up 81 in the opener, but that was against an opponent that only managed 59. The pace wasn't particularly aggressive, and with so many new faces trying to mesh, it doesn't seem like that's going to change quickly. The Sparks haven't exactly been lighting it up either. They shot 46% in their first game, which is okay, but that number dropped to 40% in their second outing. That tells me the offense isn't humming just yet. Also worth noting, the under has cashed in 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams. All signs are pointing toward another grinded-out game. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.